Hello everyone, I am the Monster Game Dev, and welcome to the first devlog of my new game, Love Sucks. So, essentially what this game is about is you're alone on Valentine's Day. Again. And so you decide you can't take it anymore, and you're going to take out all this aggression you have built up from being alone on everyone else around you. If you can't be with someone, then they can't either. So, the way this is going to work is, the way these devlogs are going to work, this time, I'm going to be going over player movement. And next time, I'll be going over the new level design. I don't know when the next one will come out. I guess after I finished working on the levels. I don't know if there's going to be more than one. Right now, I think just one. So after I finish designing it, I'll go over that and explain everything I've done. Just like right now, I worked on player movement. I will go over everything I've done. And in the future, anything else I do, each time I add stuff over a specific topic, like I've actually got a whole list of stuff I've got over here. Every time I go over something in here, I'm actually going to go over it in the devlog. But for now, we're going to be going over the player movement. So you got a few moves here. First one I'll go over is the grab. You can grab something and throw it. So let me give you a quick example of what that looks like. Because it's actually fairly simple, but also kind of complicated the way it works. Just from how kind of expansive it is. So all you can do, all of the way it works is you just pick up a chair by left-clicking, and when you right-click while right-clicking, you get to throw the chair, and then it breaks when it hits something. Specific things that are tagged as solid, to be exact. That way you can't, break it on yourself. And it actually won't break unless you throw it. So if you just drop it like this, it's not going to break. Unless you throw it. Nope, that just went over the building, so you won't be able to see that break. But, get the gist, you can break all these chairs. There's only a lot of them here just because I wanted to add so many of them. I just loved breaking stuff, so, spent a lot of time just doing that. But you kind of see a way that works, and I'll quickly go over this stuff. This isn't a tutorial for how to make this stuff or anything. Just I'll quickly go over this. So essentially what the script does right here is it'll find out in the update right here, gives a sort of raycast towards certain objects. So if you're looking at a chair or anything with a grab script on it, then what it will do is it will then allow you to click down with your what did I just do? Alright, don't know what I just did there, but anyways, and if you left click, then it will let you pick up the chair, and then while you're holding it, left clicking is holding is true, and you right click, then it will throw the chair and it'll turn on a certain object, a breaker, which then has a different script I'll go over in a second. So when you throw it, it's just adding a bit of force is all in a forward direction from where you're facing. And otherwise, if you just let go, it'll just drop the chair and such. That's all it is. Something simple. And then when the chair breaks, as you saw, this is a simple script right here. What this does is it adds a rigid body because the chair is broken up into little pieces, as you can see right here, this chair over here. They're all a bunch of different little pieces. Hold up, Unity is compiling. There we go. So all this is just a bunch of little pieces here. I can all pull it apart and such and everything. But because they don't have rigid bodies on them, they actually stay together because they're all underneath this empty game object. And so, because if they all have rigid bodies on them, the chair's just going to fall apart right away. So when the game starts, or once you throw it, it adds rigid bodies to them once this breaker script is active. And this actually doesn't need to be there. And this is the little break function right here. It's actually meant for grenades and such, but I decided to add it to the chair because otherwise, if it doesn't have it, it kind of just adds the rigid bodies and it'll just kind of plop down, straight down from the spot they broke. This gives it a bit of it kind of throws them around a little, makes it a bit nicer, makes it look just better. So that's what gives it that nice look. That's actually, this right here is the trigger that is set active when you throw it. And then once it collides with something that is solid, then it will play the script right here, and it will break the object. Here's the force and such, radius. I actually should change the radius a bit. It's a bit big, so change that. But anyways, that's not important. After that, the second power I have right here is the RAM. So the RAM, let me give you a little show of what this does. Because I really enjoyed messing around with this power. Honestly, it's one of the reasons I added so many chairs. So if I go ahead and hit R, it'll fling the character forward and just break everything in its path, anything that's close enough to it. So you ram up, fell through the map. All right. This isn't the permanent level. It's just a map I downloaded. This little asset, but you can kind of see basically what was happening there. I was running through everything and breaking the chairs and such. It's one of the powers. So actually, if I go ahead and go back into the scripts and such, I can show you how this works. So essentially what this is doing is you've got a, can ram bull, which will tell me if it's true. Otherwise, if it's not true, the timer's going. That's what that little bar was for. And when you hit R, as long as the can ram is true, then it'll disable the character controller and first-person controller, because I figured out if those are enabled, actually, it doesn't let your character move, because the way the Unity assets work and just other characters, the character controller is controlling, as it, name states, your character. And so I won't be able to move it with this type of force I'm adding right here, which is just throwing the character forward, in a sense. And so because of that, I have to disable them for a certain amount of time, which is only like for the dash duration, because we'll go after this, does all this, starts the routine, the dash, and we'll just simply do it for, I think it's 0.2 seconds, so it won't fall through the map or anything because you can't control your character or anything. It just means you can't change the direction you're going in while you're dashing. Something I'm going to try to work on, see if there's a different way to do it, but I'm not sure if there is or not. And after that, all you can simply do is, all it does is just, makes you not kinematic because otherwise you also can't move. Then it'll reset everything back here. Simple as that. It also adds a little box to it when you do it because that way you can otherwise you just kind of break stuff as you run. This way, this little box is enabled for a couple seconds, so that way you kind of throw stuff out of your way, and because it gives you a bit of a collider to throw stuff out of your way as you zoom forward. So that's the way the RAM works. Last power is the slam. This is my favorite. Let me show you how this works. I love this power. This is the real reason I added this many chairs. Before, I only had a few, just for the RAM. The slam is my favorite, probably because of how destructive it is. So, you made all these chairs, and I go ahead and jump and hit control. Boom, look at that destruction. It is fantastic. I love it. And same as the RAM, it has a timer. And again, jump, boom, slam down, and throws everything everywhere. This power is the best one I've added. I didn't even know if it was going to work for a while, same as the RAM, but I'm so glad it does. This is so satisfying just seeing everything break like that. I love it. So, anyways, let me show you how this all works and such. It's kind of like a mixture between the chair breaking and the RAM. So, what it's doing, let's go over the script right here. What it's doing in here, right here, if the player is in the air, so if the player is in the air, it is jumping currently, got that from the first-person controller script, and the can slam is true, and then while those two are true, which the can slam is always true as long as the timer isn't running, and then the is jumping is simply if we're currently jumping, if we're currently hit the spacebar and we're currently in the air, we're not grounded or anything, and we hit control while we're in the air, then the rest of this will take place. First thing it does is it enables a bit of a box collider because otherwise we fall through the ground because we move a bit too fast, I found out. So I decided to add a little box collider, just a really thin one so we don't fall through the ground. It keeps us from doing that. We may not fall all the way through, but we fall through a little and kind of bounce back up and gives it a weird little annoying effect. So this fixes that. After that, starts the timer and such, so cool down and such. But this is where the similarity to the breaking chair comes in, because this right here is an explosion, same thing as the breaking chair, an explosion force. However, it's emitting from our player at a much stronger power. Because the breaking chair was set to 300, as you remember, don't know if I showed it before, but it was set to only 300. This is set to it's different in the script. I believe it's set to 3,000 right now. I may lower it later, but right now it's fun to keep it at 3,000. And then same thing, for the force, I tried adding a force before that would, push the player down. That wasn't working, so I decided to just add to the gravity multiplier by 150. Normally set to 2. May or may not change that, I don't know, but that's not important. The point is, Adds the force really strong, and it'll slam you to the ground. Be reset to 2 after the slam duration, which I think is like really, again, really short. Okay, yeah, 0.2. So really short duration. And after that, actually, I think it's set to 1 point. I don't remember. It's not important. And yeah, so that'll set everything back to normal. There you go. So that's the way this slam works. It is really cool. I spent forever trying to figure out the slam and ram. I thought I wouldn't get them to work because I was trying to do them in all the wrong ways. Like before, I spent so much time trying to get the ram to work by adding the force that would push the player forward. Didn't know I had to disable the character controller and the first-person controller script, which I think I will actually re-enable because I don't think that actually affects it. I think only the character controller affects it, which I guess we could always find out right now, I guess. Just all I have to do is just simply come up here and comment out the first-person controller real quick. I guess we could check it out, see if it works, find out right now. But really, that's all I've done so far. Just added all the character stuff. It doesn't seem like much right now, but once all the other stuff gets added, like the level and such, and the characters and everything, it's going to seem like a lot more. So let's see if this works. Oh, yeah. Hold on, let me see if this resets. Let me make sure, like, I can't... Oh, yeah, that works just fine. I can keep the character thing active. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't make a difference at all. So I can keep that active. That doesn't matter. I guess I might, make a longer cooldown timer. Might lower the force a bit because it seems that's a bit overpowered and such. But that's something I'll worry about later. For now, this is all that's been done right now. Got the few powers. Character is made and such. He's all finished. Not quite finished. I'm gonna, minor tweaks and such, but nothing major or anything. So yeah, that's all I've done so far. Next time I'm going to be working on some level design and such, but whenever that next time is, I suck at making levels and such, so that's maybe a while before the next devlog. But that's okay. It's just for fun. It's going to be sometime before the next 2 weeks are up, because I plan on finishing this game before Valentine's Day, so at least a couple days beforehand. Got less than 2 weeks left. So next devlog maybe in a couple days. Try to work really hard on this, finish this up, But we'll see what happens. For now, hopefully you enjoy this little devlog, a little look onto the new game that's going to be. I love slamming down. So yes, hopefully you enjoy this devlog, and new tutorial soon. Until then, I will see you guys in the next one.